So I'm sitting here in my office and I've just been kind of thinking about the dress code that's been going around Willard. You guys have saw that there's been a petition made on the internet and it's talking about how we should be more fluctuant and more lenient with the school dress code. Now I've really been thinking about it and there's been so many people that have been asking me what I've thought about it. Because as you guys may know, last year I started an independent project because I realized that the dress code was very, very controversial. So, as I was thinking about it, I really thought maybe I should look more in depth with this whole thing. So, I took it upon myself to do my own independent research. I went to 10 local businesses, 10 commercial businesses. I made a PowerPoint. I had over 1,000 student opinions documented and recorded. And I talked to administration, hopefully talking to the Willard Board of Education after that. So, as you can tell, I put a lot of work into maybe reforming the dress code for the future. So, I've been asked what I've thought about this new petition that's been going out, that's been kind of circulating around the Willard community, talking about how we should be more lenient with the dress code. So, I would first like to start off by applauding the author of this petition for attempting to make change within our community, our public facility, Willard High School. This is America, and we do have the right to crave change, and we also have the right to voice our opinion. So, for the past 2 years now, the Willard dress code has been very, very controversial. So last year as a junior, I noticed the concern and I decided to start my own independent project revolving all around the dress code because I too believe that the dress code should be more lenient and more fluctuant. So I would like to let the writer know that I'm more offended than anything. I'm not offended by your choice of words and your voicing of opinion and trying to make a change within the school because even I try to do that. But I'm offended by your lack of work ethic and your lack of judgment. So in other words, it's really your ignorance that angers me. I worked for hours upon hours, day after day, night after sleepless night in an attempt to reform the dress code, and I put so much work into this just to be shut down immediately. But through this, I maintained a sense of professionalism the entire time, and I did so with utmost respect to authority. So how dare you threaten to harass authority if you do not get what you want? How dare you take the crying baby, crying toddler approach and keep crying and crying until you get what you want? As we all know, we're in high school. Some of you reading this may even be out already, but no matter what, we are adults. There is no need to act like an immature child through such a mature topic. If you really want to be in the real world and use that as your main source of argumentation, then stop using out-of-this-world examples. So first I'm going to start off with the flaws, and maybe you can use these critiques to make your petition better. Because I can tell you right now that you are not going to go anywhere, nor are you really making any progress. So let's be real honest for a second. Intelligence gets you places in life. So before you go make a petition in an attempt to wear your Marlboro shirt in the hallway or your Budweiser shirt in the hallway, maybe you should take the effort to get an appropriate education. Maybe you should focus on what it would actually take to get you better grammar. I do get it though. We are all human and we all have the same capability of making basic mistakes. But if I sound like a third grader trying to read your petition and understand it, then maybe, just maybe, it could be revised. Secondly, you start off by stating your personal opinion with, and I quote, "I personally believe that our school is limiting our freedoms and freedoms of expression as the students and people of the future." Which, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you back up your personal opinion using the phrase of "we the students" or "we" or "us" over 11 times in this short petition, then you're stating that well over 50% of the school population has sided with you on this, which this too has not yet happened. If you think that it is okay to use these phrases and put a majority of the students in your petition despite using them, then maybe you're the one that's wrong. Our student body has just under 1,400 students in it, which this means you have to have 700 at least signatures before you even have the sole right of using these terms. Until then, I suggest you take them off before someone of higher authority pinpoints it and asks you to take it off yourself. Next, you argue that in the real world, or we as students of the future will be surrounded by all of this controversial clothing, so we might as well just let it slide in high school, which you may be right in some cases. You see, in the real world, students of the future, or people of the future, or however you want to say it, we must maintain a sense of professionalism. You would never go into a job interview wearing a Jack Daniels shirt and a hat flipped backwards. You would never be in a professional environment wearing spaghetti straps. And if by the off chance you do, you're just going to find yourself repeating yourself and jumping from place to place in the same ongoing cycle over and over again. And if you're going to use the excuses, there is no point in removing the freedom of spending money on a piece of clothing and not being able to wear it when you see if that job really cares what you have to say. Because I know plenty of people that would work so hard to be in the position you're in just to be giving petty excuses like that. Because Devin, in the real world, there are rules. And if you do not follow these rules, you will find yourself jumping from place to place in a never-ending cycle. Willard High School is an establishment, and because we are an establishment, we have rules. Rules that are placed for a reason. So if you really think that we have the rules of a private school and we're not lenient enough, then maybe you should really consider what a private school really is. Because in a private school, there's matching uniforms that the students have to wear every single day because they have no dress code. Their dress code is the uniform. And last but not least, we need to evaluate the threats that you've been given. So let me just start off by saying what you said in your petition. We would like to have a chance to argue this case, and if it is thrown out immediately, we will send a copy of this form to the mailbox every day until we are recognized and given a proper chance to fight for this freedom. So, one of the great things about America is that we as citizens do not have to listen to what you have to say. Where you may have freedom of speech, I have freedom to listen to what I want to listen to. So if you're still reading this or listening to this in this video, then I urge you to stop throwing a petty threat. You are a grown adult man, so please, act like one. Do you really think that harassing and continuously pestering administration will really make them want to listen to you? Because if I were a part of admin, I would throw your annoying piece of mail every single day in the trash until the day I died. I wouldn't even give you a chance with such a rude approach to me. So, using this as an example, this is almost as stupid as saying, "Hello, sir. You should listen to what I have to say. But if you don't, I'm going to follow you and harass you and pester you until you give me what I want, or until you listen to what I have to say." In my personal opinion, I find this to be immature, delusional, offensive, unintelligent, and just downright creepy. I applaud you for attempting to make change. I really do. But I also shake my head at your lousy attempt in trying to make things right, when in all actuality, maybe you're the one that's wrong. Thank you for listening. Landon Somerville.